Selam, yine bağlandım. Az evvel bir teknik sorun oldu. Beauty in Isolation'a yine hoş geldiniz. Bugünkü konuğumu size tekrar tanıtacağım, tekrar giriş yaptığım için. Melis geldi, süper. Melis Kuriş bugünkü konuğum. Karantinada bayağı kendimi çok iyi hissetmemi sağlayan bir isim aslında. Bunun sebebini de yapacağım, birazdan size anlatacağım. Çok heyecanlıyım size Melis'i tanıştırmak için. Çünkü kendisi bu arada stylist, aslında celebrity stylist ve Melis'in bu yaptığı bu Bach çiçek gözü terapisi hiçbir yan etkisi olmayan ve sadece insana kendini iyi hissettirmeye adayan böyle süper bir wellness trick'i diyebilirim. Bu arada söyleyeyim Melis'i almadan evvel, kendisi Amerika'da doğup büyüdüğü için İngilizce konuşarak daha rahat ediyor. O yüzden İngilizce yapacağız yayın ama her zaman olduğu gibi herhangi bir şey sormak isterseniz tabii ki de Türkçe sorabilirsiniz. Bir şey olursa anlamadığınız her zaman cevapları alıyorum. Hey girl.
Hi. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
No, so I was like, I tried stalling people for a few minutes, then I was like, oh, I can't do this anymore.
No, I don't know what happened. This is only the second time I've done this, so.
Okay.
I'm like, yeah.
Welcome. Welcome to Beauty in Isolation. Look at that beauty in isolation.
I'm so excited. Thank you for having me.
Of course. I actually, before I took you to the program, I told people that the reason why I'm really excited about today's session is because your flower remedies kind of like saved me during this chaotic period. And I would say they even made me happier, which is, I didn't expect to be happier. I just wanted to be stable. I just wanted to be stabilized. They really made me happier. So thank you for that. And I really cannot wait for people to also learn about a Curated Vibe and Melis Kuriş. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, I already did a little intro, but we would love to hear from you.
Yeah, of course. So my name's Melis. I moved to Istanbul about 4 years ago. Before living here, I was living in Los Angeles, and I was working as a celebrity stylist. And I've been into alternative healing methods for I don't know, almost a decade now. I'm really into trying all of the things that everyone talks about. And in Los Angeles, it's kind of one of those places that's like alternative healing mecca,
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Everyone has a person. Well, a lot of people have a person for everything, right? So I had my Chinese medicine man, and I had my acupuncturist, and my bodyworks person. And so I was open to trying all the different healing modalities, right? So from Reiki to Jin Chin to all of it.
So you had a person for all those things.
I did, yeah. And I'm
That's
a great
incredible.
astrologer, numerologist. I'm into all of that. So
yeah,
it was 2013. I was working as a stylist, and I had a client who was going through a divorce. And I remember her coming into my office one day, and she was different. There was something different about her. She had this natural glow to her, and she was happy. And I was a bit confused because she was going through this traumatizing divorce. I mean, that's a huge change in somebody's life. And so I asked her, I was like, you look great. You look super happy.
You shouldn't be happy. What's wrong with you?
Yeah. I was like, what's going on? And she's like, I don't know. I went to this woman in Echo Park, and she gave me these flowers. And I feel great. She's like, I've been taking them for 10 days. And I think that something is changing in me, And so immediately I got the number, I made an appointment, and at the time I was kind of also going through a shift, a change. I was in a relationship that had just ended, and it wasn't one of those relationships where, it was my heart is broken. It was more my ego was really upset, right?
Yeah.
How and why and what did I do, and trying to figure it out, right? And I remember she gave me this remedy, and then 7 days later I just felt lighter. I just felt the thoughts in my head had kind of slowed down a little bit, and that was my first introduction to flower remedies. And I remember specifically all my friends know that I'm into all this weird stuff, and I remember I was driving with my friend Lauren, and she said to me, she was like, I don't know what you're doing right now, but something is different and it's good. She's like, I've never seen you this happy. I've never seen you like this way. And she's like, whatever you're doing, keep doing it.
It's kind of crazy that we find these methods usually always after breakups now.
Always. It's always when your heart is broken and you're just like, or you're trying, or like something didn't work out the way you thought it was going to, and you're trying to like figure out why and how, you know what I mean? Like, it's so interesting. Yeah. So
you're figuring yourself out when you're like dealing with those traumas, actually.
Totally. Yeah. And so that was like my first experience. And like, my thing is, okay, I felt different, but if people around me noticed the change, right? Like I noticed in my client, like, hey, something's different about her. And then for other people to realize that about me, that's when I knew they were working, right? So it's like, but how do they work?
But so let's like take a step back for people who have never ever heard of flower remedies. Just like, what's like the ABCs of flower remedies? What's like a simple way to explain it to someone who's never used them or heard of them, who's not from LA, who's a non-LA resident?
No, totally. So flower essences are an energetic healing solution to help you balance your emotional well-being, right?
Yes.
So that means, you know, your mind and your body are connected. And if you have a healthy mind, then you have a healthy body, essentially. That's like the thought process behind it. So Dr. Bach is this British homeopath. He was around in the 1920s. And he developed a system of 38 different flowers. And his thought was that each flower helps a specific emotion, right? And so it's designed to help balance people's emotional well-beings and address specific emotions. So, for example, let's say you need a confidence boost, right? So that would be larch. So if you take larch, energetically, it would give you a confidence that maybe you didn't have before. Or, for example, there's another remedy called Star of Bethlehem, which is great for releasing trauma, right? So we think like there's
past
this whole,
trauma,
and there's this whole thought process that like, you know, your body holds emotion, like your body holds trauma, whether it's that pain in the back of your neck or if it's on your side or whatever, like your body is always communicating with you. And so flower remedies allow you to release the emotion in the body subtly, right? So it can be, I mean, you might not even realize that they're working until, you know, couple of weeks after you've been taking them consistently.
And I find it to be kind of a lazy person's remedy, because you really don't have to do anything, right?
You don't have to do anything. Yeah, and that's
the only thing you gotta do is like, this is my custom formula, by the way. The only thing you gotta do, like, you take it, like,
4 drops 4 times a day.
4 drops a day.
Yeah. And that's what's really beautiful about him too, is that, you know, it's great for people who don't want to talk about what's going on in their life, right? So when you do a session with me, like, I don't need to know specifics. I just need to know how you feel. You know, I don't need to know about the ins and outs of your breakup. I don't need to know the ins and outs of why you dislike your job or you know, what's going on with your friend group. Like, how does it make you feel? And then I find the flower for the feeling. You know, so
I mean, it's actually, we can go into detail later when we go into Curated Vibe, but it's like you give people out like a very simple test to fill out.
So I do. And you know, the reason why I do those questionnaires, couple of reasons. Well, during my sessions, I do them in English and in Turkish. When I do a Turkish session, I have a translator. And so a lot of times there's things that you're not thinking about, right? And you don't really realize that's a personality that you have consistently unless you're filling out the questionnaire. It also allows me to get to know the person better. It's difficult to know somebody in an hour. And so I do that form just kind of as like an introduction. And once we've done the session for the first time, you don't fill the form out again unless you want to, or unless we can't like figure out what's really going on. Usually it's just kind of like the intro step into getting, you know, familiarized and
and I mean, a Curated Vibe, which we're gonna go into now, is relatively new in the Istanbul wellness scene, let's say. But I feel like maybe it was like the quarantine, something, I don't know. I felt like it really got like really good vibe. It's really good buzz. And it's getting popular. And really tell us like how you, because it's a very new brand actually.
Yeah.
How did you decide on the name? How did you decide on the concept? Like what is a created vibe? Like, so when a person goes on your website, what should I expect from a created vibe?
Well, it's interesting because I actually came up with the name in 2009. I always feel like I vibrate at a different frequency. I'm always into like different things like art, fashion, beauty, like all of the things, right? And so I had this name in my head and I never really knew what to do with it. I wanted to start a blog, but then there was too many bloggers, yada yada. And then when I decided to start not like treating, but like testing on friends and family these remedies, you know, flower remedies are also called vibrational medicine.
Okay.
And I'm essentially curating a bottle of these vibrational medicines, like these vibrational flowers for you.
That's the most LA thing I've ever heard of. But I don't care because it works.
Yeah, so that's essentially why I put the names together, because it's, you know, to me it felt right. And it also it's one of those things that, you know, it is a vibe. Like, it's not for everybody. It's for people who are into like this specific type of healing modality, who want to be, you know, who are interested in energetic healing and vibrational healing. And I don't know, I just feel like it's kind of this, you know, niche thing. And yeah, and it is really new in Istanbul. I mean, I just, you know, I've been taking flower remedies since 2013. So I've been in that world, taking them, giving them to friends, making remedies, you know, reading book after book after book, you know, for 8 years now. So they've been very, like, I've been on this journey for a while, but I think, you know, it wasn't until maybe last September, August, when I had started taking this one remedy called wild oat to find my purpose here. Yeah. That's when I realized, like, hey, this is something that people need here. It's a niche market. Yeah. And nobody's really doing it. I think there's
I think there are like a few like alternative medicine doctors who are doing them, but they haven't like really branded it like as a specific niche genre, I think.
And you know, it's interesting though, because when I first moved here, I was trying, you know, I have my own therapist, like her name's Alexis. She's in LA. She's amazing. And I had my own therapist there, and I tried to work with people here, and it was very difficult to try and like get the appointment. And so I was like, if I can allow myself to be open and available for people who want to heal and to feel their best, you know, why not? So yeah.
Yeah, you said that it's not for everyone. So if let's say a person has like a resistance to believe like it, like maybe they're like a bit skeptic about this whole thing, and you gave them a bottle, do you think it still works if like you don't like, who does it work for and who doesn't it work for?
It works if you take it. I've never given a bottle to somebody and it not worked. If it doesn't work, it's because they didn't take 4 drops 4 times a day. I mean, a girlfriend of mine also, like, you met her. She was like very kind of
she was skeptic. Very resistant. Yeah.
But then, you know, she took the remedy for a week and she's like, this happened and this happened and this happened and this happened. And I'm like, yep. She's like, do you think it's the flowers? I'm like, you tell me. Like, I don't know. I think it's the flowers, but it's definitely your own experience, you know, like, my father, for example, he is one of my newest clients, and he's into all the alternative healing, like, in terms of, you know, eating healthy, juicing, ginger shots, you know, turmeric, all that stuff.
Okay, it's basically your dad.
Yeah. So, but when I started to tell him what I was doing, he didn't really understand. And then I gave him a bottle, because he's an insomniac. He has the hardest time sleeping, and he's always worrying about tomorrow, today, tomorrow, you know, all the life stuff. And so I gave him a bottle, and he's like, what is this? Like, and he like opened it and he smelled it, and he's like, what is this gonna do? And I'm like, just take it. Like, just take it. And he was like, I don't want to take it. I'm like, okay, don't take it then. And then 2 days later, he calls me and he's like, I've been taking those drops and I don't know what you gave me, but it's working.
You witch. You witch.
I know. And you know, it's one of those things that like, and it's, you know, like there's some parents who are always like, hey, good job, like you never fail. And then there's other parents who are like, who call you out when like you're on a high horse and like you don't know what you're doing.
Do you have a remedy for that?
I could probably make one. Yeah. But so my dad is one of those. Like he's skeptical and he's critical, and he believes in constructive criticism. And so when he came to me and said, this is working, that's when I knew. I was like, okay, if my father will take these, I'm like, this is really working.
I've done good. I've done good.
Yeah. So,
but when you start taking, I mean, I had my own experience, which I can a bit touch up upon. But when you start taking these, so 4 times a day, 4 drops, what are for new? Like, I'm just saying this for newcomers, not for veterans, obviously. Like, what are some first like changes one sees in their day-to-day lives when you start taking the floral remedies?
I mean, I think everyone's different. My experience is that I just feel lighter. For me, I mean, I've been taking them for a really long time, so I know which flowers to take for myself because they come to me in the dreams, and that's a whole other thing. It's gonna make me sound like a total witch, but yeah, I'm very intuitive, and so I know what I need. But I still have my practitioner that I work with, and so it's like a therapist goes to a therapist, right? So like I have my own practitioner, so I can't diagnose myself. Everyone has a different experience though. I mean, some people when they first take the remedies, you know, they might shed a couple of tears. It's the emotion leading.
Yeah, you warned me about that. I remember. That's why I asked.
Yeah. Some people get very tired. Actually, this is like the number one thing that always comes about is that people will call me after they take my SOS. And they're like, I don't know what you gave me, but I'm so relaxed. I could just fall asleep, you know, and the remedies don't have side effects. Like they don't have any physical effects, right? It's all emotional. So if you're tired and your body's telling you to rest, it's releasing something. What it's releasing, I don't know. That's on you. But it allows you, you know, everyone's different. It's just, you know.
Yeah, I mean, before I started my first pre-formulated remedy, you had told me that I was gonna shed a few tears and I shouldn't be, you know, like worrying about that. And I did actually like suddenly start crying like one afternoon, and I was like, what the heck? Like that girl knew what was gonna happen. And then like I did feel that lightness, and I kind of like, it's weird, like there's a place in my living room where I always put like, where I've always placed this. It's like a darker area, so like that not a lot of sunshine goes through it, and then I always like put it there. And then every day I feel like my body knows when to take it, which is a very weird thing to say for me, because I'm a very big skeptic usually of all these, you know, wellness things, all these fads. Like I would think they were, which now I think like is something that actually works. And you also talked about dreams. You said like you kind of have like these dreams where you know which flower you should be taking. You like the flower kind of speaks to you. I don't know if the flowers speak to me yet. I haven't really conversed with them in my dreams, but I have been getting interesting dreams. And so I want to ask you about this. Why do you think the dreams get wilder with the remedies?
I mean, I think it's your subconscious releasing the emotion, right? So, I mean, like I said, everyone's different. You know, I went to an energist in Boston. He's called the Mad Russian, and he's the best guy if you want to quit smoking.
He's called the Mad Russian.
Yeah, if you Google him, his name's the Mad Russian. Okay. And if you go to him, I went to him 9 years ago. I used to smoke 2 packs of Marlboro Lights a day. I have not smoked a cigarette in 9 years.
I went to him. You smoking.
I know, right? So I went to him. He snapped his fingers. He did this thing. And I told him, I was like, how will I know it's working? And he's like, you'll just know. And so for the first 2 years, I smoked in my dreams every single night because my subconscious still wanted me to smoke, right? So, you know, and I would wake up in a panic like, oh my God, I smoked a cigarette. And then I would realize that I smoked in my dream. So I was releasing that emotional connection that I had with nicotine. And I think flowers are the same way. So for me, I get a lot of answers, the things that I have questions about. You know, I think it's different. I always have people start a dream journal when we first started working together, just to see like what it means to you. You know, like right now I'm taking a remedy about not necessarily trauma, but like past and like releasing some past stuff. And I've never had a dream about my grandfather ever in my life. And he passed away a year ago. And for the last 2 weeks, he keeps popping in and he's like, hey, you should have some guacamole with your lunch, or like just like random little notes. And it's so weird.
Yeah.
Like it's stuff that my grandfather would like never say to me, but I think it's the flowers like healing a part inside of me that maybe I don't want to pay attention to, or had a hard time releasing. So.
Yeah, I actually had a similar, like it wasn't my grandpa, it was my ex-boyfriend I had a dream about, but I told you about this. So I am onto my second bottle now. This is my custom-made formula, but I started with a pre-formulated one. And after I finished the bottle, like I think it was like 2 weeks after or something, I had this crazy dream about like my, you know, like boyfriend from my like adolescent years. And then I had this big breakthrough and I called her. I was like, Melis, like we need to get a custom formula, because I think like it's working for me in ways that I like. It was a trauma I never thought I had, you know?
Yeah.
I never thought about, but it's still like got released and I felt so much lighter. And yeah, so.
And that's, yeah, and exactly. And so like the trauma in your body can be stored from years and years and years. I mean, like when I say trauma, it doesn't have to be like some crazy thing. It could be somebody making fun of you in 5th grade, right? Like it doesn't have to be this like, you know, losing somebody. Like it can easily be like, you know, the boy in elementary school that like pulled your hair and told you looked weird, or, you know, it can be anything. And it doesn't matter how long ago the trauma happened. It could have happened yesterday. It could have happened 15 years ago, you know? And that's why a lot of times with new clients that I work with one-on-one, I'll always throw in the trauma remedy, which is Star of Bethlehem. I'll always throw that in there because, and it's interesting too, because on the forms, almost 90% of my clients leave all the questions blank for trauma. Okay. It's like they don't want to answer it, or they're afraid to answer it. Like it's weird, you know? I'm like,
but Melis, I think it's a difficult like thing to like you know impose on yourself, like to say yes, I got trauma. It's like a difficult thing to say.
Yeah, people feel weird about it. Like they think that it's a weird thing to be like, every person I know has some kind of traumatic experience that's happening to them. So, you know, it's interesting because like when I see it blank, I'm like, okay, so what happened to you? I know you've experienced something. Do you want a remedy for that? Like I did a session 2 days ago with a new client, and she didn't mark anything for trauma, but she was talking a lot about how she felt guilty and she had a lot of grief, and she was like thinking about her past a lot, right? So that's pine, that's honeysuckle. And then I said, well, what happened? And she's like, well, nothing really. And then she starts telling me the story, and I was like, girlfriend, that is a major traumatic event. Like, long story short, it was a friend that had passed away, and there was a whole thing around it. And, you know, and I'm like, your body's holding on to that. Yeah. You know, like you have to let that go. And, you know, and people don't see those things as like trauma. They see it as like, oh, well, maybe I'm being selfish for thinking about it, or like maybe I'm selfish for like, you know, or maybe I have this guilt or whatever it is. Yeah, trauma's a big one. So I put in all the remedies.
Yeah, I love how you classify like that's fine, that's honeysuckle. do you look at your friends and say like from the inside like she needs like some Star of Bethlehem or something?
It's really bad. Yeah. That's why a lot of times I'm like, can I just make you a formula and just like see if you feel better? Yeah. I did that on Saturday actually. Like one of my girlfriends was over here and I was like, let's just do a session. Like, just give me like 30 minutes of your time. I'll just like make a little concoction for you. But back to what you were saying about how you felt attracted to the flowers, right? Like you see the bottle and like, so when you...
I mean, I don't have like specific hours when I'm like putting it just Melis, I don't,
The
it's
call
super
to
weird
it.
to say, and this video will be on IGTV, and I will listen to myself saying this, but my body just walks towards the bottle. Like, I don't know how that happens, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So that means that whatever's in that bottle, that's what you need right now.
Yeah.
And when you don't have that feeling, right? When you forget to take it, like let's say you go a day without taking it, that means that bottle is finished. It no longer serves you.
Okay. Or does it mean it's finished for the day, or it's like done?
No, like that means that whatever you needed to heal is done. So like I had a client call me today and she's like, hey, you know, the remedy before this one, you know, I was taking it really consistently. Granted, she was on it for 2 months, and then she was like, you know, I think I need another session because I'm not really feeling attracted to flowers. Like I'm forgetting to take them. And I was like, oh yes, exactly. Like, you know, so we're doing a session tomorrow to like reset everything. So, yeah, it's just interesting, like how it works for everyone, you know.
And I was actually gonna talk about a bit about SOS. SOS one, the little bottle, and actually Lily is here, and she just wrote about it. So it's like this little bottle of magic. Let's talk about the SOS. What is it? Who is it for? What is it for?
SOS is for everybody. Literally everybody. You can give it to your cats, your dogs, your children. It's fast acting. So some of the other remedies, they take a little bit of time to get into your system. SOS works within 10 minutes. And it is literally for anything that you could be feeling. It can be a traumatic thing, like let's say you saw a car accident, or you're stuck in traffic, or public speaking. I mean, honestly, I was drinking this bottle when you called me, like, hey, why isn't the live working? You know, I'm like in panic mode, and I'm like, oh my drinking my SOS. Yeah.
Did you just like chug it? Did you chug it?
No, but I definitely did like 2 full drops. Like,
girl, at least you got the SOS. Think about all my guests who doesn't have SOS in their homes, and they have to go on live with me with all the anxiety bottled up.
It's crazy. Yeah, so it's interesting because there are a lot of different flower remedy brands out there. So like if you are in Los Angeles and you go to Whole Foods, like there's the Dr. Bach flower remedies.
The official one.
So that's just the name brand, right?
Yeah,
so Bach is the guy who came up with the system, but then there's all the brands. So so if you get Rescue Remedy from Whole Foods, it has the same 5 flowers that SOS has. And SOS has the same 5 flowers that the Healing Herbs Company has. And so when you know what the flowers do, the formulas are interchangeable. You just have to have the knowledge behind it, and it's really easy. I mean, if you were to Google the flowers that I put on your bottle,
I actually did.
Yeah, and it's exactly like what you were going through. So there's no it's not like rocket science. It's just a matter of studying and learning and doing case studies and kind of figuring out what's what. But yeah, so SOS, like I give it to my dog. Recently we've had crazy weather in Turkey with the thunder. Yeah. Like yesterday was wild, or 2 days ago.
Yeah, it was insane.
Yeah, and so I put the SOS in my dog's water bowl, and it just chills him out. He's just,
And you talked about the fact that it could also be applied topically, right? Like if you have like a rash or something.
Yeah, so there are some companies that do, like Rescue Remedy has a cream. You can put it on topically on burns and stuff. I haven't played around with that a lot. I just got a new book that I'm going to do some research on applying stuff topically, but there are some skincare brands actually that I'm going to talk about when we talk about the skincare stuff that actually have flower remedies in as one of their ingredients.
Well, I actually, the other night I was having a crazy night in with the mosquitoes. And I had I have several mosquito bites like all over my body, and I did actually try applying the SOS formula, and I don't know if I was just feeling too sleepy, but it stopped.
Oh, amazing!
The itching is stopped,
Yeah, there's all different things. Like you can put SOS in a bath actually, and it's it gives you that same relaxing full. You would do like 2 full droppers in it, and then you can also do them as sprays. So I'm thinking about doing like aura sprays I've given a couple of clients who work energetically with people, some sprays, because you can do like crab apple's great for cleansing, and then walnut is great for protection. So you can mix those with essential oils. There's no side effects. It's essentially energy that's working through the flowers, through the water, through you. So
yeah. Honestly, like, I feel like it's just something that makes you feel better during the day and in life. And if people have like a chance to maybe try it out with you or with someone else or somewhere else, like I would personally feel, I would say like try it, like if you're not like a big skeptic. And how would you recommend people to contact you here?
Yeah, they can just send me a DM or on my Instagram, a Curated Vibe. The WhatsApp number is there, so you can just send a message on WhatsApp. You can also go to the website to book custom sessions, or if you're interested in the formulas that I have a menu that I can text you, and then you can choose from the menu.
And the sessions can also be done via Zoom in Turkish.
So all of the sessions are done via Zoom. If you want a session in Turkish, I do it with my translator. Her name is Dilara. She's amazing. And and so the sessions that are done in Turkish usually take about an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours, depending on the client. And if we do it in English, it's about an hour. So yeah.
Well, okay. So we're moving from flowers to another of my favorite subjects. Beauty products. Well, we decided to divide today's session into two because Melis has an incredible beauty product collection, let me say. And Melis and I, we kind of love the same things. And like she said, she used to live in LA, and it's a wellness and beauty mecca. So she really knows a lot of great brands and products, natural stuff too, that we're gonna delve into in the second part. So Melis, tell us about what is your philosophy about beauty? What is your take on beauty, and what are some of your favorite go-to products?
My mother engraved to me in a very young age that less is more. So I'm not a big makeup person, also because I'm allergic to pretty much everything on the market. I have really bad rosacea, and I'm allergic to the sun, sea, and wind. So both are not good for me. Summer is the worst season for my skin. So I tend to use pretty clean products, and my whole philosophy is that if you have a regime going, don't change it because of what you see all the bloggers and people on social media do, because that's when you start to really mess with yourself. You know what I mean? So I have a handful of stuff that I live for.
Do you use the clean products because they're better for your body, or is it because you have very sensitive skin?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah, even all my makeup is clean. I think the only makeup that I use that's not clean is Clé de Peau.
Okay.
The concealer, and that's because it's
and that's a classic, so you gotta have
to have it. And it has SPF, so I only use the concealer from Clé de Peau, just because I'm already super sensitive, and that works really well. But for the most part, everything else is natural because it doesn't, I've never used a foundation in my life because it causes all the little red rosacea bumps here. Okay. I mean, you can even see I'm starting to get a little. Just when I'm nervous, my face just gets red.
You had 2 full droplets of SOS.
No, but it's from before because I was running late. So
no, anyway. It's okay. So let's just dive into the products. Show us your favorite stuff, and let's remind the viewers that she has very sensitive skin.
Very sensitive skin. Okay, so I don't have the cleanser down here, but the Biologique
Recherche.
Yeah, the Lat EV. That cleanser is the most insane thing ever. I'm obsessed. And then this is my favorite product from Whole Foods. Okay, it's Evan Healy.
Yeah.
Okay, so she uses flower remedies. So my flower remedy practitioner, Alexis, they formulated these together. And I don't know which essence is in here, but I want to say it's probably crabapple and maybe olive, but I'm not sure. So this is a hydrosol, and then this is a rose. I don't know, how do the bloggers do it, like this?
No, but I mean, you just read the name. I'll jot it down and I'll share it afterwards.
Okay, cool. So it's the Evan Healy Rose Hip Treatment Facial Serum in blue. And so what you do is you put 2 drops in your hand, and then you spray your hand with a hydrosol to activate it. And then all over the face. And then this, this is something that nobody knows of. I swear, they have no Instagram. Okay, none. No Instagram. They sell it on Amazon. I was introduced to this in 2009 at like an Oscar suite. They gave me this gift bag, and I've been obsessed with the brand ever since.
Did you say you met the product at an Oscar suite? Melis Kuriş, everybody. Yeah.
Life of a stylist. Yeah, we would go to these suites, and they would like give us like product after product. So this company is called Sanitas.
Sanitas, okay.
Okay. And this is the Vitae Rich Serum, and it literally has A, C, E, K, like everything in it.
It has K. It's very rare for a product to have vitamin K.
And it has squalene.
Yeah, squalene.
Okay. And this stuff is I've used this consistently for 10 years, and I swear that's the only reason why I'm surviving.
Wow. You know? And you use it day and night?
I just use it one either in the morning or at night. Like I did it like this morning, and then I won't use it again this evening.
Okay.
It's for normal skin, but it's super dewy. So I love this stuff. And then another thing, and it's also $30. Like it's not that expensive.
Okay. But it's not available in Turkey. You just gotta order from Amazon in the States.
But Amazon ships. You can get.
Can you get cosmetics to Turkey?
Yeah. Okay. Are we frozen?
Okay. I lost you for a second. Yeah. Okay. So can you order cosmetics to Turkey?
Yeah. Yeah, you can. So this is the trick. They've already included the duties and the taxes and all of the things. Okay. So you end up paying like sometimes $5, sometimes $15. But they ship this to Turkey. Wow, they also ship this. This is called Mizon. And my Korean girlfriend told me about this brand. It's hyaluronic acid. And I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but sometimes when you put hyaluronic acid on, it peels. Like it's almost like dead. That means that your skin
it doesn't really, get in the skin. Yeah.
This stuff is a dream. No peeling. And this is
where do you order it? Can you buy it in Turkey?
Amazon.
Amazon, okay.
Yeah, and it's like $25 or something, and it lasts forever. Just do like 2 drops, and it's good. And then obviously the batter cream. Yeah. It's the only thing I'll spend my money on. I like everything else. It's like on the lower side.
I it's one of the rare things I actually do spend money on. So.
I'm obsessed. And then another thing that I don't think a lot of people know about is this Laura Mercier. So it's
we used to have it in Turkey, I think, Laura Mercier, but I think that they got shut down in Turkey.
Maybe that what's that place? I don't know. They have like everything. I think they might sell it there, but anyway, it has arnica in it, so it gets rid of dark circles, and it's a nice.
What is the name of? Is it an eye cream?
It's an eye serum. It's the Flawless Eye Repair.
Okay.
Serum. It's great. So it kind of like gives the sheen under the eye, so it gets rid of dark circles. And then I have 2 other like favorites of mine. I don't know if have you ever tried the Mara Universal Skin Oil?
I haven't. Yeah, I haven't.
It's my friend Allison. Yeah, my friend Allison. She's it's her company, and she launched it I think like 1.5 years or 2 years ago. And if you like dewy skin, that's like really, I mean, the stuff is amazing, but you definitely have to like dewy, because it really, you're dewy for a while.
Yeah. It's an oil, right? It's an oil.
Yeah, it's a universal oil, and like sometimes I'll just put it on like my cheeks as like a as like a highlighter or whatever.
Like to add some dewy texture.
Totally. Yeah. And then this I got in Turkey. It's the Bobbi Brown like face base or whatever. Yeah, face base. I love this to put underneath the makeup or whatever. And then that's pretty much it for skincare. But this stuff.
What else?
The Suntegrity.
What is that? Is that an SPF?
It's sunscreen. It's sunscreen tinted moisturizer. This stuff. So my best friend, or one of my best friends, she's in beauty PR, and she came to Turkey for like 2 weeks last summer. And she discovered this in my bathroom, and she's like, I don't know how I've never known about this, but it's the only sunscreen / face tinted moisturizer that I can use. Is it a mineral protection or a chemical protection? Because it says zinc oxide 20%, but then it has.
Okay, then it's chemical, I think.
Yeah, it has chemicals, but it's like aloe vera and all the fruits, and I don't know. It's great. I buy it from Detox Market, so it's fantastic. And then also, once again, Sanitas. This is another really great sunscreen brand. So, yeah. And then what else? You want to know about makeup?
And do you, do you have like some summer things that you switch to? Some like makeup products or skincare products? But you also talked about the SPF.
Yeah, so the SPF for sure. If anyone's looking for a great SPF and all like a combo one, this stuff is literally the best thing I've tried everything. Like, I've tried Super Goop, I've tried, everything. Like literally every sunscreen. They all end up being used on my body, and this is the only thing I use on my face or the Sanitas. But I love the Ilia. Do you use any of like the Ilia stuff?
Oh yeah, I love it.
So I like to use the Ilia for like lips, cheek, and eyes. I'll use the same color. And then
it's just a bit dry, but I really like it.
Really?
I mean, it's so like natural. It dries so quickly.
I think so. If you put an oil on before,
of course.
If I do like the Mara, and then I'll throw not this one. I'll throw the Ilia on. Like I'm wearing it now, and I feel like I'm like a little bit dewy, but and then I love like the Julian Dempsey. I think it's Patrick Dempsey's wife. Love Patrick Dempsey. Sorry, Grey's Anatomy. Shout out. Anyway, I love their creams. I only use creams. I don't use powdered stuff because my skin is too dry. And
you also have some tools you were gonna show us. Show us the tools.
Yeah. Okay, this is gonna get weird. Okay, so I ice roll my face in the mornings. This goes in my freezer. I have a little mini fridge in my room. I like to put all my beauty products in the refrigerator to keep them cold. So especially my masks and stuff. But yeah, this thing up and down on the face, it's amazing. And then have you tried any of the New Face? Like, have you tried the Zip or the New Face?
I haven't. I really want to.
Okay,
which ones do you have? You have both.
Next time you come over, we'll do a whole thing. But so
little face gym session.
Face gym session. I love it. Yeah. So if you're gonna start out, I would suggest the New Face Fix. And that's really good for like crow's and then around the mouth, which is.
How does it work? Can you show us?
Yeah, so it has these two little balls, and I would do, I like spray my face with a mist. It comes with a serum, but yeah, it ends up being so expensive that I just do like a hydrosol mist, and then you kind of just like lift like this, and it shocks you, right? Like it. Do you really feel the shock? Oh yeah, you definitely, and you'll just kind of go in the same area, and then you like erase the lines. You feel it. 100%.
Do you feel it as much as microcurrent facial?
Yeah.
Or okay.
If you get the big New Face, it actually has a disclaimer that says if you get migraines easily, don't buy this product because it's. I mean, yeah, like I've never done any kind of cosmetic procedure. Like, I'm just terrified of needles, and also I'm a perfectionist, and I just feel like I'm gonna end up getting botched. So, I'm all about the tools.
But do you think like that one day you could change your mind about getting stuff done, or are you like set in stone?
No, I definitely don't I don't have any desire to put anything in my face. I just like, I don't even like getting my blood drawn. Like, and to be honest, I've gone with people, I've watched kudos. Like, I'm in more pain than they are, I think, like watching it. It gives me anxiety, and honestly, like, I'm accident prone, so knowing my luck, if I were to get anything done, I'm gonna end up like, you know, with a Jack Nicholson eyebrow or something. Yeah, it's just not, you know what I mean? Like, that'll just be my luck. So
I could see that working, you know. I could see that working.
Like, hey guys. Yeah, so that's my thing. But if you're gonna start off with one, I would start with the New Face, the New Face Fix, the small one. It's like $100, and then you can graduate to the Zip. So this comes with an app, and like, you don't feel this current as much. Sometimes you'll feel it over your teeth when you're doing like laugh lines. But yeah, and then this one, everyone does the gua sha, which I like, but this is a thing called self-care. Okay. And it's amazing because you can use it on your whole body. So it like breaks down cellulite, but then it also sculpts your whole face. And it's made out of surgical steel. It's a manual thing though. It doesn't like vibrate or anything. No, and it's heavy. Like if you were to drop this on your toe, you would probably break your toe. I mean, it's very heavy. Wow. So you just kind of like take it up like this? Same thing as gua sha. So like up and then down, you know. And your face will get red. Like it stimulates everything. But you can do your arms, your legs. It's kind of like an all-in-one treatment. So it's called Self-Care with a K. Self-Care. Okay. K-A-I-R-E. I'll send it to you. Okay. And then what else do you want to hear about? I kind of want to hear about beauty from within, because I know you're big on that. You do your juices, you do your adaptogens. So what are some things you ingest during the day for as part of your beauty regimen? Yeah, so I love Juco. I have it delivered like every 3 days. Yeah. Where do you get delivered from them? Yemyeşil. Yemyeşil. Yemyeşil. It's the kale and celery one, I think. It's the healthiest one they make. Okay. Yeah. And sometimes I'll put that in as the base of my morning smoothie. Sometimes I'll just drink it straight. I've had 2 today. So I'm all about that. I also really love, this sounds crazy, but I drink chlorophyll, also plants. So it's this stuff. And you put 18 drops in water and it turns the water like bright green. And it's great. It helps with like circulation. It helps with your red blood cell count, white blood cell count. It's also great if you're detoxing. Let's say you had a night out of drinking and you don't want to smell like booze the next day. That will like, you know, get rid of everything. Yeah. And it works immediately or like? Yeah, I mean, it's apparently if you like Google stuff online, it says it gets rid of body odor. And like it has all sorts of benefits to it. I just like the way it tastes. My husband hates it, but I'm really into it. So I have that every morning. And then I have all of the adaptogens. I can't wait for them to be legal in Turkey. Yeah. I'm waiting. So, reishi. I love this company, Sun Potions, but I have my reishi. Yeah, it's my favorite. It's my favorite, actually. Yeah. My lion's mane. So, tell us why you use what. So, do you know specifically? Yeah. So, the reishi, I mean, from what I understand, it just helps with stress, balancing out the adrenals. This one in particular, though, my friend Holly turned me onto this one. You use very little, like 1/8 of a teaspoon, and it gives you a boosted energy. Like if you have a long to-do list, I mean, it makes you super focused and just like zip through. And you know, Mark sometimes is like, I feel like I have ADHD, and I'll like mix him some adaptogens, and he's like, I need this every day. So, yeah, I'm into all of that stuff. And you take supplement? Do you take supplements as well? Yeah. Because we talked about a supplement the other day because I was having really bad PMS like pain, and
I actually switched to Balance Babe when I'm
Balance Babe.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just stopped taking my usual one and I switched to this for a few days. And you told me about a plant. And
Vitae.
Vitex. And I think in Turkish it's hayıt otu. And I actually immediately went to the Aktar and got in tea version. And I've been taking it for a few days, and I think it really helped. So,
yeah, it's so it's called Vitex or Chase Tree, and it's for hormonal balance, for female hormonal balance.
Yeah.
And my friend Jennifer told me about it. It's really great for when you're getting off of birth control or if you have irregular cycles, and you know, it kind of helps harmonize and balance your hormones. It's fantastic. It takes a while to kick in though, so usually you have to take it consistently for about 2 months to really have it settle into your system. But yeah, I take Vitex, I take probiotics, I take green supplements, I take spirulina tablets. If I don't put
Melis,
spirulina,
I think you're the healthiest person I've ever met in my entire life.
No, I mean,
ever.
I love my tequila, girlfriend. Not that healthy.
No, but like I remember like one night a couple years ago, we were over at your apartment and we were like doing shots or whatever, and you went inside and you were like, I gotta do my juice, like I gotta take my adaptogen. It was like 1 a.m. at night. I was like, wow, kudos to you.
Yeah. Well, I just think it's important to find balance, you know, like it's never, I don't think it's healthy to be too healthy, and I don't think it's healthy to not be healthy. You know, I think that you have to find the balance. But there's definitely like activated charcoal I always take if I'm drinking. NAC I take, it's like it supports like liver enzymes. Vitamin B12 is great to take before you drink. I mean, there's a balance. So if I know I'm going to have a big night out, I'm going to take all of my vitamins. I'm going to have my green juice in the morning or my smoothie, you know. I think it's all about balance.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And my last question is actually, this kind of takes you back to your old stylist life. Melis, like I said in the beginning, used to work as a celebrity stylist in LA. And actually, the other week when I was in her apartment, in her house, and she was showing me these photographs with all the stars that were like really famous in like 2007, and that was that period, right?
Yeah, it was. They were all
the Twilight people, like everyone she used to work with.
It was like pre iPhone, right? So like we only had Blackberries, and we walked around with Polaroid cameras, and yeah, it was all my Twilight kids. There was some with like Christina Applegate. Yeah, there's some good photos there. I'm gonna do like a collage wall of
you should.
Videos. Yeah.
And my question is, I mean, you've been on so many sets and suites, like Oscar suites.
Yeah.
And have you obviously worked together with a lot of makeup artists and hairstylists? And have you learned any tips and tricks from these shoots or these preparations in LA?
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of tips and tricks. First one I can tell you is if you're into natural deodorant, you are supposed to, it's going to sound crazy, but you're supposed to detox your armpits. It sounds really weird.
That makes sense. You sweat out toxins, so.
Yeah, so you have all these chemicals in your armpits, and then you go from chemical like Secret or Dove or whatever to a natural brand, and then a lot of people break out under their armpits, and it's because they haven't detoxified them. So this is actually a great mask that you can buy in Turkey. They sell this at the Bebek Eczane, like next to Luca.
Can you read it? What's the name?
It's called Indian Healing Clay. It's the Aztec secret. You do equal parts. So if you do 1 scoop, then you'll do 1 scoop of water. So it's equal parts. Water or apple cider vinegar. It's great for hormonal acne, detox, whatever.
So you kind of just apply it under your arms.
Yeah, and then you just like let it dry. So I tend to do that like once every 2 weeks because I use natural deodorant, and otherwise it'll start to get, funky.
Foggy, yeah.
It'll start to get like red and bumpy or whatever. So that's one of my tricks.
That's amazing.
Another tip is like you should never use cotton balls when you are applying liquid face stuff, like toners, always gauze, like always medical gauze, partially because you're supposed to physically a lot of people put toner and then they'll wipe their face. It's actually supposed to be pressed. I learned that with the P50 lotion.
P50, of course. My P50 sister,
But same thing with like, think about with like the beauty blender, right? You have to get the beauty blender wet and then you like press in to kind of, you know, have that airbrushed kind of.
Because the thing is also, it's when you just like do it like this, you don't really press the product into the skin. You press the product more into the cotton ball. So it's the same with the beauty blender. Like if you do like this, you just like push the back in the, push the foundation back in the sponge, you know.
In the sponge.
Yeah.
Also too, I've been told like by a handful of makeup artists that if you do have a beauty blender, don't buy the pink one. A lot of times, like I don't know if you have a pink one, but if you wash it, I have a black one too. Yeah. So the pink beauty blenders, I was going through a phase where when I would wash them, the water would be hot pink. I'm like, I don't wear pink, like nothing in my so it was the dye from the beauty blenders. They had like a bad batch that Sephora never pulled. And so from that moment on, I was always told to either get the natural color or the black one. Even people at Sephora will tell you that, like, don't get the bright colored ones. So, so that's one. What else? You can use mascara to cover up grays. I have a lot of those. Or clear, like the clear mascara for flyaways. I have some of those. Like I actually sometimes use my eyebrow, like my Benefit eyebrow gel for the things.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, I have a great one actually.
Tell us.
Especially in Turkey, like you can't return anything here ever. You know? So if you have product that you don't use or you're allergic to, use it on other parts of your body, like your hands, neck, chest. I do that with a lot of the sunscreens that I've had an adverse reaction to on my face. So that's really great.
That's something I actually did during the pandemic, because I have so many serums that kind of didn't work for my face, but my hands were really struggling from all the alcohol. So I kind of like put these amazing serums on my hands. Yeah.
Totally. Well, and it says like, you know, anti-aging or hydrating or whatever. So, you know, you can always, like, I do a lot on like my chest with the hyaluronic acids that peel, you know, I'll put them all on my like neck and chest area just so they don't go to waste. So that's one of my things. And then I'm really into also like dry brushing, lymphatic drainage massages. So also in Turkey, there's at Özel Sculpt, they have a great deal on LPG packages. And I first got into LPG in LA at Mercari Studios. And then when I found out that they do them in Turkey, and it's no joke, like an eighth of the price here.
Yeah.
Like,
those things are cheaper here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so much cheaper here. So I love doing like lymphatic drainage and red light saunas and red light and that kind of stuff.
Well, we have like a minute left.
Oh, go.
So I'm gonna wrap it up. Well, today, of course, I mean, I'm so happy that I got to talk about, you know, flower remedies and a creative vibe and share it with my friends and my followers, because it has really helped me. And thank you so much for helping us feel better. One little bottle at a time. Melis.
Yes, 4 drops at a time.
Yeah, 4 drops at a time. Yeah, exactly. 4 times a day. And please contact the Creative Vibe if you have any questions whenever you feel like it. And Melis'cim, thank you so much for joining.
You're the best.
It was lovely talking to you. And I will post about all the products tonight on my Insta stories. So follow that. Okay, amazing. Bye, guys. See you next week.
See you.